I ran from the Lord for a long time because of what happened to me when I was young. It was a church leader. Like, how could God allow that to happen to me from someone who's, in all appearance, just seems to be dedicated to the Lord, seems to be walking with the Lord? I kind of blamed God, I guess. It was an innocence that was taken away that I felt like I should have hung on to for a lot longer.
I love growing up out here because of the open area, you know, the woods. I was constantly out there just roaming and exploring, you know. Of course, I played a lot of sports growing up. I played baseball, football, basketball, so I had a basketball goal out, and I was literally out here from daylight to dark every day.
No, she's not going to do it.
Me and my friends would get out here in the backyard and have football games and wiffle ball games. Yeah.
Well, Kirk and I both were raised in church. That was just part of our lives. I mean, our kids were so used to going to church that, you know, that was just a normal thing. Of course, Vacation Bible School, all the normal church things he was always involved in.
For the most part, it was fun. You know, we done a lot of events. We were always doing fun stuff. So I had a great church life, you know. It was a church in Littleville, and there was a guy. They brought a new guy in. He was, just super fun guy. You know, had done all these events for kids. There'd be one day out of the week where all the kids in the church and in the neighborhood would come together and have just free time to play. You know, we'd play water balloon games, and super fun guy. And then started having kids come over to his house, and that's when that happened. Anyway.
We did have some concerns about him wanting to spend the night there a lot. So that was kind of a little bit of a red flag that he was asked to spend the night as often as he was. So we stopped that.
The children's church director sexually abused me when I was 10, 11 years old. I didn't tell him because of all the shame. I felt like people would look down on me, or people would think less of me. I felt dirty. It's almost like you're stripped down in front of someone. You know, you don't want them to see. You don't want everybody to see you in that light. You know, in my case, it made me feel weak. It made me feel like that I was less of a person, I guess.
So after that, I had a hard time trusting pretty much any church leader, you know.
Over the year, you know, because we were high school sweethearts and all, we're still friends on Facebook and stuff, you know, and I don't know, I went in the Dollar General one day to get some shampoo. I was running to the bathroom, and I literally, almost ran into him. He's like, oh, hey, you know. So we talked for just a minute and went on about our business, and then, what was it, maybe
next week, I think.
Yeah, maybe a week later, he sends me a message on Messenger, and it's like, hey, what's up? Came over, what was it, the next day? Mm-hmm. Which was August 1st. 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. And we've been together ever since. Yep. Literally, ever since.
Work together and everything.
24/7.
He had a knee injury in high school playing football, and when his son was about 6 weeks old, he had to have a knee surgery. And it was kind of strange because I kind of felt like God was warning me in a way, because I told him, you have to be careful on the pain medicines, you know, not to get addicted to them. And then that's exactly what happened.
Started out just taking pain pills like I was supposed to, and then it became a way of numbing the pain, you know. Became a way of avoiding, the real issues in my life. I found out when I was in my early 20s that he got caught, and that's what brought it all back to light. He had continued to do it to 20, 30 other kids, and because I didn't tell anyone, I felt like that was all on me. I was weighed down with that guilt for several years. But when I found out, I went to the courthouse. I met all the parents of all the other victims, and I did get to stand up in front of them and apologize and tell them that I was sorry that I didn't tell anyone, that I could have prevented it, from happening to their kids.
That was a really hard thing as a mom. Of course, I asked myself, what could I have done different, and why did I not know? As a mom, you just think you would know something like that,
When he got arrested and I found out about all the other children, that's when the guilt set in, and then I really kind of went off the deep end, as you'd say, with the drugs and stuff.
Well, it's a very helpless feeling. You're their protector with someone is in your household, your child. You try to protect them from everything, and at some point, you realize I can't protect them anymore. I think when I got to the point of saying, God, I can't fix him. The only thing I can do is trust you to work in his heart, and that's what he did.
They called me here and kind of had like an intervention, and that was when I went to rehab.
I got clean. I stayed clean for about 6 months, and I gave in to it again and started using again because all the things that I didn't want to deal with, of course, started coming back, and I used for about 10 years after that.
It was hard watching him, being totally different, distant. Even when he would come, invite him to come eat, and he might stay 5 or 10 minutes and he's ready to go. He just didn't really spend time with the family like he used to, and so that was really hard to not have him be part of our family like he used to be.
We were asking everybody to pray. I've asked professors in seminary to pray, people in my preaching class to pray. I mean, they've gathered around me and laid hands on me. Excuse me. My pastor friends have been great.
I've always looked up to my dad because he's always lived what he preaches. He's real. And I've always admired that. And I'm still finding out a lot of the people that were praying for me during all this that I had no clue at the time. Prayer works. I started facing those issues in my life. I slowly got off the drugs on my own.
I reunited with Julie. That was probably the biggest point of a real turnaround. But meeting her and having that support, knowing that we both wanted the same thing and that we both wanted to do right by our families and bring our two families together, that was probably the biggest inspiration and the biggest help to me to get my life right.
Find someone you trust and talk to them, because looking back, my life would have been a whole lot easier if I would have talked to someone. You feel like that nobody can possibly understand what you're going through, but there are people out there that can. Everyone that I've told my story to has been encouraging. They've been helpful. There hasn't been any shame.
Brandon Newcastle is my biggest support system. He's my home. I don't know how else to explain that. He means everything to me.
Oh, I'm extremely proud of him. He's overcome a lot. He's my son again. Oh.
While he was in the addiction, I didn't recognize him. There's no comparison on where he was to where he is now. And if you talk to him, he'll probably say, "I've got a long way to go," and he does. But he's come so far.
To watch the transformation now into being a youth minister, the kids love him, and it definitely is special.
Don't underestimate the power of prayer. Who knows how many people have prayed specifically for him. We just need more people doing that. There'll be more victories to be won.